Hello guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Unique Items. Today we're going to be going over a greatsword, which is a two-handed weapon, which does 10 to 20 damage and has durability of 100. This one is not identified yet, but it does have a strength requirement of 75, which is pretty high. Now, when it comes to greatswords generally are not really the most amazing because they require you to give up your shield. This unique greatsword is known as
my friend. Stay a while and
the Grandfather. Now, the Grandfather also exists in Diablo 2, and it's one of the most powerful unique swords, like for barbarian and things, that you can use. This one, however, in Diablo 1, is a one-handed sword. As you can clearly see at the very top of the Grandfather, it says one-handed sword. This means that despite the fact that it is a two-handed base with two-handed damage at 10 to 20, which is really good for a one-handed sword, it is a two-handed sword with one-handed capability at 10 to 20, which makes it already way more powerful than most one-handed swords because this is the best one-handed sword base type, essentially, that you can get, which is amazing. It also has +5 to all attributes, which is really good. +5 to all attributes, of course, is going to give you strength, it's going to give you magic, it's going to give you dexterity, it's going to give you vitality, and as you can clearly see, I can equip a shield with this particular item, which makes Grandfather very powerful. It has plus hit chance of 20%, but it also has the dexterity bonus that it gives with +5, so it ends up being 97%, which isn't the most amazing, but you do need more to hit percent chance to actually use this. The rogue can actually get really good usefulness out of this because she has really high dex and can counteract a lot of the two-hit problems. It also has 70% increased damage, which is really good. So it goes from the 10 to 20 to 17 to 34, which is pretty darn good. And then it has a bonus to hit points as well. So not only does it give you a bonus to hit points through vitality, but it also gives you another bonus to hit points through the actual sword itself. So you go from 70 to 100 life on this particular weapon. It has a very unique graphic too. It kind of reminds me of a samurai sword, although it doesn't look like one when you drop it on the ground. The Grandfather is, I think it's expensive if I remember correctly.
What can I do for
Yeah,
you?
29,950 gold. Definitely a very, very valuable item as far as even just for duping and selling to the shop for money. Overall, definitely a very interesting weapon. Being a two-handed weapon that can potentially be wielded as a one-handed weapon, and then not having any of the negatives either. Like in Diablo 2, if you wanted to wield a two-handed Grandfather as a one-handed sword, you give up a large portion of the damage to do so. But with the Grandfather in Diablo 1, you get to wield it as a one-handed weapon, and you get to give up nothing. You get to keep the massive damage of the weapon as a two-hander while wielding it as a one-handed weapon, which is pretty darn cool. Now, it is lacking chance to hit, and it doesn't have any increased attack speed bonuses, but many people hail the Grandfather as pretty much the most powerful unique sword in Diablo 1. It's definitely better than a lot of the other swords that we've gone over, and I believe this actually is the last sword that we have to go over in the list. Definitely a very historied weapon. I mean, technically the Grandfather has been in Diablo 1, it's been in Diablo 2. I can't remember if there is a Grandfather in Diablo 3, but of course there is a Grandpapa in Diablo 4, which is also a very powerful weapon as well. So the Grandfather has managed to maintain its position in at least 3 of the Diablo titles. I don't know about Diablo 3 specifically, but I can't remember if there's a Grandfather in Diablo 3. Probably is. I would imagine so. You can find this in single player, and you can find it in multiplayer. It is an item quality 27 item, so it does have to be found at a much higher level than some of the other stuff. I believe that just means monster level 27. Which, if I remember correctly, is that pretty much hell, like Lazarus or something? Or it might be like the beginning of Nightmare. I'm not sure. I can't remember the exact area levels of every single area. Definitely a very cool weapon. Like, kind of enamored with the fact that it's a two-handed sword that you can wield in one hand, and you get the massive damage bonus from it. It's really neat. Anyway, as always, I do appreciate you guys and gals joining me. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe button if you are enjoying the Diablo 1 content. This is my full-time job, so it definitely helps me out. And as always, keep watching.